Greetings and welcome to Mediocre Minis. Today, we continue on with spooky season with this elf? Alright, so here's the thing. Once again, this is a mini from the Bones 5 Kickstarter. But there's one thing with it. It's listed as a player character mini. However, I can't seem to find it on the website. So I am not sure exactly what this mini is, who they are, where they come from, or what do they want. So we're just going to call him the Elf Paladin for today. If anyone knows who this is, what it is, its official name, please let me know. I tried asking around on Instagram with little to no avail. So if you happen to know, let me know. And yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, anyway, on to the paint job. First and foremost, maybe it probably would have been smarter to leave the shield off, because the arm with the shield on it came separately. To leave that off and paint the face first, which would have been much smarter, but I didn't. So working around the shield to get the face painted was definitely a bear. And for this, I used the basic Caucasian skin I've used in the past, a simple mix of khaki and red. I wanted to be a little bit paler, so I only used a small amount of red mixed in with the khaki for the skin. It was also during this time that I attempted to do some basic eyes on the mini. It went okay. It was fine. It was fine. The basic eyes turned out all right. One of them is more derpy than others, but that's okay because you can't see it too well. And for the highlights of the skin, I just went back to the base tone of red and khaki that I used, or that mixed for the skin tone, and then added a bit more khaki into it to highlight up from there. Not very much highlighting was done because, again, such a small area and you can't see it too well anyways. For the cloak, I decided to make it purple because I love the color purple. For the base coat, I used a mixture of purple and black, and then slowly worked up from there using just straight purple, and then adding a very small amount of off-white into the mix to create the highlights for the cape. So for the green cloak, what I started off was a mixture of green and a small amount of blue. This kind of made it a deeper, maybe more of an emerald or more of a forest greeny type of look, and that was my eventually base coat. After all the green dried, then I simply added a small amount more of the base green into the blue-green mix. Adding this in here kind of leaned more back to the green side of things than the blue, and I was able to highlight up from there with that color. There was a good bit of leather on this miniature, counting the boots, gloves, a belt, a sheath. So I based all parts of the mini that were leather with the, well, dark brown that I have. Once that was dry, I mixed in a small amount of black into that mix. And I mean a very small amount of black into the brown. And that was the creation of the shading that I used on all bits of the mini. Once that was done, once that was dried, I mixed in some orange into the brown, into the dark brown, and that created the highlight color. Now for the metallics. I kind of separated, of course, into a few bits of silver, such as the sword and the shoulder pads, and then I made a bunch of areas also gold. Thought it'd be kind of fun to have, gold on his shins and the sword, and also the emblem on his chest. Once all the metallics were dried, then I used a sepia wash on all the gold areas, and a black wash on all the silver areas. Alright. So let's talk about the mini in the room. You might have realized at this point that there's something a little bit odd about this miniature. He's not spooky. He's just not spooky. And this is spooky season after all, and I realized about, I don't know, maybe 2/3 of the way through that I don't know if this was gonna work out for at least what we're doing here, because he kind of looks like he went to and got the cheap stuff from Spirit Halloween to go to a party, and this is what he showed up as. So let's try something here. Let's decide, instead of him being spooky, well, let's put the world that he is in a spooky world. More specifically, like he fought his way through hordes and hordes of zombies and demons. So let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, how about this? So yeah, I think I spookied it up at least a little bit. Let's talk about it. So what I ended up doing is relatively simple, actually. I took a mixture of red and a very small amount of black and mixed it together to make a, well, darker red. And then I took a simple crappy brush, a dry brush, which you're going to see more of coming up in the next spooky season video, and dry brushed and dabbed this darker red mixture all over the mini. Just all over the place. I just went wild, as if this gentleman was fighting his way through hordes and hordes of rather enemies, demons, monsters, it doesn't matter, and just going and going and going. And then after all of that was dried, it definitely toned everything down. And the reason why I went with this color is it kind of looks like dried or older blood that's been there for a while. So this isn't something that he just started doing. This fight, or at least the clothes, have been through a lot. And then once that was done, when I used straight up red, I used much less of it. I didn't want to use too much. And the reason for that is it's so much brighter. And I didn't want it to, of course, overpower anything. And I just kind of went to town. You can, of course, overdo it. I don't think I went too far, but I definitely got the point across, which I ended up liking. And there we are. A miniature that wasn't very spooky and, well, maybe still not very spooky, but at least has been through some things. What do you think? Did I fix it? Did I do a good job? Did I make the miniature worse? Did I completely destroy the theme of spooky season in general? Let me know down in the comments. I'm actually kind of curious as to what you think. Thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate it. This is Mediocre Minis, and may the divine light your path.